Hey guys. All right, I know you've all been asking for more in-depth price action training with the resistance lines. So I'm going to go through the process step by step, what I do to get my resistance lines, what I'm looking for, and what you should be looking for so that you can make the right calls when you take your trades. Okay, right here I have just the Fibonacci, clean background, no grid, just the candlesticks. So what I do is I pick a market. I already have this one ready. It's the USD JPY. I have it on H1. I go in and I look right here. Now, to me, it's going up, but here's the thing. The last high point was right here. Now, on H1, from there to there, that's a good bit of movement going up. So that's the high point on H1. This is the low point. Now, earlier, someone asked me a question about, well, if you're on one time chart, which one do you look at? What if I go and put my lines on one chart and I go to the other chart, it looks different. There's new points, etc., etc. So I'm going to show you that. So we're on H1. Now we're going to go to M1, and you see one line is here and one line is there. You see how much difference there is between those two lines, and where we are right now is right here. So you have till about right there to go. So basically what we're looking for is what I'm looking for, just based off of what I'm seeing right here, is for this to bounce off of that and go back down or go back up. So the fact is, when you're unsure, you go to the higher time charts to look and see. This right here is telling me that it's going down. That's the day one. The week one says the same, and so does the month. So that tells me that it's going to hit that resistance line and it's going to go down. So that is the line we're looking for it to hit and go off of. Now, if you're on M1 and you're thinking, oh, that's a good amount of pips, well, you're wrong, because if you take that buy right here, your buy line is going to start right there. So you're going to have to travel all of that and then pass it. And as you can see right here, you're not passing that if it hits that structure high and bounces off of it, which is what it did here. It hit that structure high. So on M1, what we do after we have those two main areas that we found on H1, we're going to go back in, and we'll do this one just so you can see what just happened. We drew that one. See, it was a structure high there. And what it do, it came up, it bounced off of it, and it turned around. So now what we're doing is we're looking for the last structure low closest to right here, which would be about right there. There may be another one. I'm looking. I'm going to say right here. Now, we're going to zoom back in. What we're looking for now is for this to come down and bounce off of one of these two lines and go back up on M1. Or we're looking for it to bust through those lines. If it busts through those lines, you look for your next resistance line. We're just going to go right here. This is the line you would be looking for it to bounce off of. But see, here's the thing. If it bounces off of this line right here, what then we'll be looking for is for it to go back up and bounce off of this one. The white candlestick will bounce off of that and then go back down. So I wouldn't take the sell right now. What I would do is I would wait for it to to make up its mind, because it could, on M1, it could go down and then hit right here and turn around and go back up again and then bounce off of this and then turn around and go back down. So basically, I'm looking for it to bust through this line before I make my next prediction and take a trade. But that is how the resistance lines work. So if you're going, we'll pick another market here. Okay, this is on H1. It's way back there. I don't know why. Okay, let's redo the, all right, clear screen. All right, right here, we see that it came up, it took a breather and went down for a second, and then it's going back up. Okay, the last high closest to this right here would be about right here. I don't know why that didn't show up. All right, so that tells us that we have about that much room to go on H1 before it's going to hit a resistance line and come back down. So we have that much room to climb. But we also know that if this candlestick moves up, then on M1, we've got a whole trend of candlesticks going up. And the second that this white candlestick starts to go back down and get smaller, then the candlesticks are going to be red going down on M1. So we're going to go to M1. We're going to zoom out and see where that line is. Okay, so now we're looking for the next high point in the structure, the previous high point, which is below this line but above this one. You guys following? Below this line, above this candlestick. So what we can do, we can draw as many lines as we want to. I'm going to take this one and draw it. All right. We're going to zoom in. So right now, it's at a point where it could hit this resistance line and bounce off of it or bust through it. And it looks like it's hitting it and bouncing off of it. Same thing here. So the next one would be here. And if you want to zoom out on M1, that shows you how far you have to climb up. So if it busts through there, you could buy, let it spike up and get out at the top of the trade right there. But that's basically it. Another thing, look for the trend. You go to the month. Okay, the month right now is going up. So is the week. The day one is going down. H4 is going up. See, this one, sometimes they're completely predictable, sometimes they're not. So with this one, I would base it off of H1, which is what we did to begin with. And right now, H1 tells us that it is, from what I'm looking at, because we've had the top peak here, and we've got another peak here that was below this one. So here's your structure high, and then you had all of these that formed below the structure. See, that's another thing while I'm thinking about it. Okay, you've got this structure high, and then it came down, and this structure low formed above this structure low, which says it's going back up, and that's what it did. But then it came back down, and it met level right there, just a little bit further down, which tells me that it's going to go back down, that it's only going to go up for a minute, and then it's going back down, which is what it did. Now, when this one hit, and then that came up here, and then the structure low was above that last one, sometimes it's going to go up further, sometimes it's going to go down. The further you are to the top of the chart, the less that it's going to go down or go up. So just pay attention to the trend. Pay attention to what lines you're wanting to look at. If you have to wait 30 minutes to an hour, 2 hours to get to that one point in the market that you know which way it's going to go, then do that. Don't trade just to trade. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure that you're paying attention to the market and you're watching it so that you know what it's going to do next. See right here, it looks like it's going to bust through. But then again, this candle, you don't look at the shadow busting through that line. You look at the candlestick. It has the candlestick busted through that line and formed. If it doesn't form above that line, then don't take the trade. So we've got those. We're looking for it to bust through here. And if it does, let me see. See, I use all these time charts to find different lows and highs that I can use. Like right here, instead of going from this high to this low, what I'm going to do is go from this high to the last previous high. That's like the center point of this little trend right here. And what I'm looking for now on M1 is for this to come and bust down, come down to here, and then bounce off of it and go back up. Okay? If you guys have any questions, let me know. But that is what the resistance line, that is how I do it. And I think that if you practice this over and over again, you will get really good at this, and you will be able to understand which way the market is going and know without a shadow of a doubt that you made the right call with your trades. All right, guys, have a good day.